2 people.
I've got a few already chatting. Okay, just see here. There we are. Okay, so Deb is here. Hi, Deb. And Cindy's here. Hi, Cindy.
We're all foggy now.
What, we're foggy? Well, it's you and your bloody lights.
Down, 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 down. Okay, well, no, maybe it's too far down. Okay, fine. Actually,
Okay, we got a light. Okay, how come I've got this thing? Welcome to live chat. Remember to guard your privacy and abide by our community guidelines. Okay, why do I care about that? Because I don't. Okay. Alrighty. So, hello everybody. And just waiting. We got a few people here. A few more to come. 3 so far. What's that say? It says 5 on there. How come my phone says 3? Must be the delay. Or whatever.
well, maybe that's why we're kind of blurry, is because we have this, like,
What?
it's kind of fuzzy. I'm saying the lights kind of.
Well, I don't know. Okay, how's it looking, people? Oh, Kathy's frozen and buffering right now. Okay, well, we're not frozen at this end because I'm watching it on my phone at the same time, and so I see what you see. So it may have to do with your internet connection. Deb says everything's okay here. Okay, here we go again, another experiment. Last week, I dropped down the resolution of the camera to 720p, although Walter says that the camera we're using only can record in 720p, but I had it set for 1080p, but that's the other side. This is the selfie cam on the iPad. The 1080p is for the one, you know, that you regularly take pictures of, the other way around. Whatever. But, although we didn't freeze up last week, I didn't like the quality of the rebroadcast. So I have put it back to 1080p, and we're hoping for the best. We still don't know what's going on. We don't know if it's YouTube or it's us. What are you doing now?
I'm turning it back up again.
Well, you and your lighting. Why don't you just wear makeup? For God's sakes. Anyways. Kathy says she refreshed and all well. Cindy says it looked cloudy. Yeah, well...
Yeah, it looks cloudy.
I don't know why that is, unless my camera's dirty. Where's the camera? It's over there in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't nothing touching it.
I think it has to do with the glare from the light.
Well, there's not much we can do about those. Turn it down. Oh, well, we'll all be a little cloudy, I guess. What are you doing now? Okay, Walter's cleaning the camera. Do not adjust your set. I don't know if that made it any better or not. But anyways. Okay, so we'll see what happens. Kathy says better.
Actually,
Julie says it looks
better.
cloudy to me.
It's a lot better.
It does look better. Well, maybe it was cloudy. Well, Kathy says it looks better. All right. So maybe there was dust on the camera lens. I don't know. I never cleaned the camera lens, so I'm not sure. Maybe that's why we were what we were last week. I don't know.
Maybe we were blurry last week because you were.
I don't know.
We were dirty.
Well, anyway, dirty whatever. Okay. So, just at the beginning of this, if we freeze, we will disconnect and try to reconnect and see what happens. Let's cross our fingers, people, and see what happens this week. This is driving me mental. Anyways, what are we drinking? What are we eating? We're eating garlic curd.
Cheese curd. You know what you make? Poutine, whatever.
Putin.
Putin.
No, that's Russian. Yeah, cheese curd. And our drink is, this is not a sham sham. This is a lem sham. Limoncello in champagne. Or sparkling wine. Tastes kind of like sparkling lemonade. Anyways, okay. So, what's the latest? Well, let's start with my mother, but we're not going to talk too much about her because she's been doing okay. I think she's getting acclimatized to the environment and to Doris, her roommate, who has dementia, is 97. That doesn't stop my mother from complaining. But the funny part is, Now, you know, my mother can't walk. That's why she's in there. So she's sitting in a wheelchair all day. So I'm talking to her on the phone, and I hear her yelling over. She goes, just a minute. Doris! Doris, don't try to get up out of your chair, Doris. Doris, don't do that. I'll be over there in a minute to help you. Doris can walk. My mother can't. Although Doris needs assistance, but she manages to get out of a chair and into the wheelchair, and she manages to go from the wheelchair to the bathroom, and that on her own. My mother has to have assistance with it. So there's something ironic.
She's not even able to move her wheelchair very far.
No. And Doris is 97 years old. And she seems like a sweet old thing, but she sleeps most of the time. Of course, she has dementia. And, you know, she has her lucid moments when we've been over there and whatnot. My mother swears she's deaf. I don't think she's really deaf. I think it is that she just, because of the dementia, she doesn't always comprehend.
Or she doesn't always process the information.
Yeah, or whatever. But my mother insists, no, she's deaf. Well, if anybody's deaf, it's my mother. But did I say deaf or daft? Whichever, with that. So, yeah, but she seems to be climatizing. Now, this week, we're going over on Tuesday to visit, as we usually do. And then on Thursday night, the home is having a big Christmas kind of gathering thing. So we're going over for that. And I think my sister and my niece are coming to that as well. There was a Christmas luncheon, but you needed to get tickets for it. But when we asked for the tickets, they were already sold out for it. But my mother didn't seem to be too disappointed about that as well. She says, you probably were saved. She says, I don't think the food would be very good. And yet she says the food is great. So
Actually, for those Christmas luncheons, they often put on a special thing.
Special thing.
And they had it in a different area than the dining room, too. So your mother seemed to think it would be in the dining room. But
but I don't think it was. So they said it was limited. You could only get 2 tickets, for family. So
next time they have a special event, you know that you have to write
just
on it.
nail them right down. Am I heartbroken over it? Not really. We're going over there for this other thing, though, on Thursday night. And on Wednesday night, apparently she signed up to get on the bus to see the Christmas lights. There's an area where she's in her home in this town where there's sort of the mucky mucks, the people with the big houses. And they, every year, are famous for their Christmas decorations and all of them. And so I think she's getting on a bus. They've arranged this at the home, and they'll bundle them up and load them up in their wheelchairs, and off they'll go and see the lights. And that'll be something nice for her. I hope she doesn't cancel out of that at the last minute, because that would be a possibility with her. But, I mean, I think it would do her good to, get out, even just for a little while like that. I mean, I can't really take her anywhere.
Yeah, because it's too hard to get her in and out of the wheelchair.
Yeah. And, hi, Luch.
And not only that,
hi, Carol.
she has to go to the bathroom. We're kind of stuck.
Well, yeah. And I'm sorry, but no. Got a diaper? Do it. I mean, and then come back in and go clean up on aisle 1. I don't know with that. But Carol says good for her. Maybe she will start to do more and more, hopefully. I think she's been doing a few things there, Carol. I've heard her mention, like, she goes down for their Bible study or the little service and things like that, and hymn sing. And she does check the calendar to see what's on.
And it does seem like she's been talking to a few more people.
Yeah.
Because there's a lady on her floor that's got the very early stages of Alzheimer's, and she came into her room the other day when we were there. And she seemed like a nice lady.
Yeah, she was a nice lady. I mean, she didn't seem like, well, maybe we've only met her the first time. She didn't seem to have a lot of problems.
No, she was a little bit shy. That also, I think that's also a symptom of like dementia. They don't tend to be as forward.
Well, anyways, my mother seems to like her. That's a bonus. So I don't know. I think it's going to be difficult over Christmas, although the last few years at Christmas, we haven't done anything special. I mean, we've had her to our place for dinner, and Lori's had her at her place for dinner. That's my sister. And it's a big rigmarole, especially in our house, because we had like Walter's family here and that, so we had a few people, and we do that down in our rec room. And although we live in a raised bungalow, as you know, it's 4 steps up, 8 steps down. to get to the rec room. And even if you come up to where the kitchen and the family room and everything is, that's 4 steps up. And once she's in one spot, once you get her there, that's it. So we basically catered to my mother and set up everything in the rec room. Now we'll be doing that again this year, but this year we won't have my mother with us that day. So shouldn't be any mobility problems or issues. But then I thought, well, what am I going to get her for Christmas? Now she lost her watch. I'd bought her a watch, some time ago at Sears. It wasn't an expensive watch, but I think it cost me about $60 at the time because she wanted a watch that she could see. She wanted big numbers. Well, you know, outside of getting a wall clock and putting a big black belt on it to wrap around her neck, I mean, you're not going to find anything that she can see. And her eyes, though, are the same as mine. My mother had cataract surgery and had what she needed put in her eyes for that. And I've had cataract surgery on both of my eyes. And so we both have the same eyesight. Now, I wear these because I can't see things close up. Like I can't read without them. And she has the same problem. So I did find a cheap, really cheap watch at Walmart this afternoon. $11.97. But it actually looks...
That's more because chances are she'll lose it.
Yeah, well, over there's some kleptomaniacs, you know, things go missing. So she's been talking about this, so I thought, well, for $12, if it gets lost, it gets lost. You know, big deal. She doesn't really need a watch, but if it makes her feel comfortable having a watch, then fine. And I got her some earrings as well, just little ones, nothing, just costume jewelry. She has tons of earrings, but they're all here in our place. And her jewelry box and stuff is just a mess. Well, it's not one jewelry box. It's a cardboard box with a bunch of jewelry boxes in it. My mother has quite a collection of crappy jewelry. And most of it is just crap.
Yeah, it's costume jewelry.
Yeah, it's costume jewelry and that. There may be a few pieces in there that aren't too bad, but I'm not taking those over. But she did want her holly earrings, according to my sister. So I dug through this looking for these stupid holly earrings. I finally found them. And she's been wearing those over in the home. So I thought, well, maybe she'd like a little something with a little bling to it, just for fun. They're just simple. You know, they cost a whole $7 for the pair. Yeah, they're George, you know, the Walmart brand of things. But I thought, yeah, just for fun. I got her a box of chocolates, which she'll wolf down and then throw up very quickly. And I think my sister got her a box of chocolates. So the woman's going to be in a diabetic coma. She'll be sick. Oh, yeah, I know that. And I got her, what else did I get? Oh, she was talking about having a little calendar, so I got her a little calendar and that. And, you know, so what else can you get her? So, well, I mean,
like, she probably could just, I don't know if she needs any more clothes or whatever, but really your sister kind of needs to look after most of that.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. That's what my sister's for. I don't know anything about fitting women with whatever they need.
It was bad enough that I went and bought underwear for my mother when she was in nursing home. Because I had a sister that, because I had power of attorney, I was power of attorney, she decided that she wasn't going to do anything because I had control of the money.
Well, my sister does get her clothes when she needs them that. But my mother has a ton of clothes. I've got some of them here. My sister's got some of it at her place, and then there's what she's got over at the home, and she has more than enough clothes for it all. So I don't know. But anyways, Carol says, does she have nice house slippers and a pretty bathrobe? She does have a bathrobe, a couple of them, and yes, she does have slippers, but they don't like her to wear slippers in there in case they fall. So she has like slip-on type of sneaker-like shoes and things like that. I mean, she has more than what she needs to start with. I mean,
in fact, your sister had to take some stuff back. Or
yeah.
We
did. No, we took. That's why I've got some of her clothes here.
Yeah, because she didn't want all of it. So
no, well, then some of it was summer wear. So
yeah,
we did the seasonal thing. But anyways, she's doing okay, and I'm doing fine with it all. Like, I'm a little better this week. I guess I'm starting to get acclimatized to it as well. So,
plus we're not going over there as often because
we go once a week.
because when she was in the hospital, we were going over there every other day.
3 times a week, more. But I do call her regularly, although I'm trying to space that out a little bit. I used to call her every other day. When she was in the hospital, we'd visit her one day, the next day I'd call her, then we'd visit her the next day I'd call her. Kind of overkill, don't you think? I mean...
But mind you, she can call us too, and she knows how to.
And she knows how to. And I just gave her a list and put it on her little dresser, and I taped it down. I laminated it and taped it down with all essential phone numbers on it for her. So she's got that. Her little part of her room that she shares looks kind of nice. We put some things up on the walls.
And now that she's in a semi-private, she has more room than what she had.
Yes, the other room was extremely squishy when you went over to visit. So this is better. But anyways, so enough about my mother. Let's move on. What's coming up on my vlog? Well, I'm going to have some things to tell you about and some things to show you. One of the things I'm going to show you is the thing I used to create this. Oh, Luch, you know what this is that I did this with. Now, this was just a quickie this morning. I was experimenting with this new tool that I have that does circular embroidery designs on your sewing machine.
But you can use like a regular kind of sewing machine for that.
You don't have an embroidery machine for it. This just uses your decorative stitches, but it does them in a circle, and it's kind of cool. It wasn't particularly cheap. It was like about 80 bucks for it, but I had seen this on YouTube. Actually, Kim of Quilter's Way did a video about this device. That's where I saw it first, and I guess Janome saw her video too because they published her in their latest catalog. Have her picture there, and I think a link to her YouTube video about using it. Anyways, I will talk more about it tomorrow, so this was just the teaser. So this is now a hot mat. I did it really quick this morning. There's no embroidery on it or anything like that, but quilting. But I just wanted to see how this little sucker worked, and it works well. And the reason I mention it, Luch, because Luch was interested in getting one of these too. So Luch, I think it's worth the money. You just have to talk Lionel into it. Is Lionel sitting there behind you? Hi, Lionel, if you're there. Well, Luch says, oh yes, that looks great. I should get one. Oh yeah, you should get one. But get it from Ultimate Sewing, because as I said, and I think you found the same, you go on Amazon and they want anywhere from $101 up for the same thing. So, all right, so other things on my vlog, what am I talking about? Well, you just have to see. I am starting to run out of things to show you about what's in my drawers. And, yeah, give it up. I saw the look in your face. Oh, are you enjoying my curd?
Yeah.
Well, you're just inhaling it, aren't you?
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, piggy's at the trough.
That's
Really?
why I wanted crackers.
And just suck back that. Well, you can have crackers in the cupboard behind you. You know where they are. Your legs painted on? What? So what I was talking about. Oh, yeah. So come the new year, I'm going to have to rethink some segments of my vlog because I think I need a shake up. Same old, same old. Time to do something new. But I don't know what that is. So we'll see.
Do we need to shake this one up too?
Yeah, we do. As long as we don't freeze up. Well, we'll have to brainstorm and think of ways we can make this more interesting. No, we are not taking off our clothes and cooking in the nude. That would put you off your dinner. But, okay. Let's see. So, this week, sewing classes. None for Walter. He's done. Had last embroidery class on Saturday. That went pretty good, except what was really annoying. So, 2 of the women in the class have their mothers visiting them for Christmas. So they brought their mothers to our class. Now, you've heard me tell you before about this class, that there are 9 of us in this class in a room that can only, if even squishy.
And I thought you said there was an extra person that came too.
Yeah, the 2
Friday
mothers.
class.
Yeah, oh yeah, there was, but then somebody else didn't come. So, But anyways, there are 9 of us in the class. These embroidery machines are all big. Really, comfortably, you can only accommodate 6 in that class. And then on top of it all, you know, I told you this before too, customers are in the store and they still have fabric and things in this area where the classroom is. So people come looking at the bloody fabric. And with all of our equipment, with all our carrying cases for them, which are like trucks, basically, there is just no room to breathe. So these two ladies brought their mothers in. Well, one last week had her mother in with her, and she seemed like a nice lady. She's from England, visiting. So yeah, she probably didn't want to leave her mother sitting in a corner at home. And that was fine. And she was, you didn't even know she was there. Found a little corner for her to sit in, and away we went, and that was fine. But this other woman brought her mother, and her mother was a nice enough lady, but... Oh, what are you doing now? Oh, what's that? Oh, that's a pretty color. Oh, I like that. Oh, do you like this? While you're trying to listen to what you're supposed to be doing and not screw up. And that drives me mental when I'm trying to do something.
I also hate it when somebody's standing over top of you, watching you when you're doing something.
Lionel says, don't encourage my spending habits. Lionel, you have to... Okay, I'm dying. Oh. Don't suck air. Shut
You
up.
do that a lot.
What? Well, I need to breathe. You know, I don't know. You have, what do you got? Gills? Anyways, she was a bit of a pestering. And then, for some reason, there was all these ladies coming in to look at our machines. Because I guess they were thinking of buying one. Of course, Shirley at Ultimate Sewing wasn't going to say no to a possible, business transaction. I mean, it is her business after all. And so you had them looking at what we were doing and everything. So just the more the merrier. But we did get through it with a minimal amount of bloodshed. Although Shirley did stab herself with my seam ripper when she was helping me out with something. But, it's Christmas time. Red goes with everything. So yeah, but I'm kind of glad the class is over. Although I really like this group of people that I was taking this class with because they're a lot of fun. Luch is one of those people, and Lionel. As I choke up again, geez. So anyways, that's over. Now, my Sydney Begg class was supposed to be over this past week. Got a phone call the first of the week. The class was canceled because the instructor had a family emergency. So I'm assuming we have a class this Wednesday, which would be technically the last class, but the Beg's not going to be done. I think I'm going to be on my own for this one to finish it up. And
how far are you?
Pretty well. It's hard to tell. It's still in pieces. Like we did the gussets last week and you had to do stuff with that, but it's all in pieces. It doesn't look like a bag. It looks like fabric strips with batting on them or interfacing and stuff and everything. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll get through it. I'll get through it one way or another. But I did finish the modern quilt. Well, I have finished quilting the modern quilt. I made my binding this morning. Tomorrow, maybe, or the next day, I'm going to actually get the binding sewn onto the quilt, and then it's done. And I'm thinking it's looking pretty good. I did a pretty easy kind of quilting on it. But it is modern, so everything is angles. So I just did linear, actually checkerboard kind of quilting on it. And I don't know, what do you think?
It looks very nice.
Good, because if you say anything else, I'd push you off your chair. Yeah. So, I
like the colors in it.
High praise. So I will be showing that maybe next week. Let's see. So that's our sewing classes. What else did we do this week? We didn't do anything else.
I was finalizing the bookings for trips and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Tell us all about that. What are we doing? Where are we going? What's happening?
Well, I haven't got everything finalized, but I finalized all the places that we're staying, all the accommodations.
Yeah, you're talking about Australia, right?
Yeah, that's me. We have 2 trips coming up. Florida.
Everybody knows that.
I already booked that a while ago. And with Australia, I was trying to figure out, okay, how long are we staying in each place and all other stuff. So first I figured out how long we were staying in each place. Then I booked 3 internal flights with Australia.
Boy, will my arms ever be tired.
Yeah, so we stay a few days in Brisbane and the Gold Coast and everything. And we have a car and we drive around a bit. And then we fly from Brisbane to Cairns. And then we stay there for 5 days. And then we fly from Cairns to Darwin. We stay there for 5 days, and then we fly back to Brisbane, stay 2 nights, and then fly home.
So,
But
how far, just before you go on, how far is Brisbane to Cairns?
it's 1,800 kilometers.
And then how far is Cairns to Darwin?
That I'm not sure, but it's further because it's a half an hour longer flight.
Oh,
So,
it's
I
probably
would
over
suspect it's over
2,000.
2,000 kilometers.
Australia is a big country.
Well, put it this way: if we drive from here to Florida, from our area in Canada, which is around Toronto, to Florida to Fort Lauderdale or something, that's 1,800 kilometers. So that's the same distance from Brisbane to Cairns. And then from Darwin to Brisbane, it's about a 4-hour flight. So,
Well, that's pretty much the distance, how long it would take us to get from here to Vancouver
yeah.
on a flight. So, yeah, you don't think of Australia as being that big when you see it on the map, but it is. It's a big country. So, anyways, so you were saying, though, you were wondering what the heck we were going to do when we're there. Because,
Well, I'm finding now that in Darwin there's a whole lot to do, and it's a very small city. It's only got about 115,000 in population.
so it's smaller than the city we
So
live in.
that part of the trip might be kind of relaxing.
Well, that's not so bad. I mean, there may be quilt stores. Yeah, go shopping for fabric. So what are you looking at?
I was just looking at the distance between.
So anyways, actually the trip I'm looking forward to right now is the one that's most immediate to us, which is Florida. Because, well, as much as I said I wasn't, until Trump got out of power, wasn't going back to the States, we're breaking the rule. But I need a rest. Actually, I need a change, is what I need.
It's actually 2,700 kilometers from Cairns to Darwin.
2,700.
Yeah,
Holy crap.
that's almost like from here to Vancouver.
And so what's the temperature going to be like there when we're there? Because it's very hot, isn't it?
yeah,
And we're hitting their fall. when
we're
there.
in their fall, but Darwin's closer to the equator, so it's actually very warm all the time, all year round. They do have a rainy season, but we'll be at the very, I think the rainy season ends in March, so we'll be at the beginning of the non-rainy season.
Okay.
So
well,
it might be
good.
still a little bit rainy, I imagine. But,
So we can expect what, 40 degrees Celsius weather?
well, I don't know. I'm not sure. I expected it'd be very, very humid.
Luch says bring an extra luggage for fabrics. Yeah. Probably will have to.
But yeah. So
I don't want limoncello this time. I want a sham, please.
we're too late.
Oh! What do you mean it was too late?
Oh, I thought. Oh, yeah. I didn't realize. Well, too late.
Go get a job as a bartender because you suck.
Well, you didn't tell me that until after I started pouring.
Well, there was one glass that didn't have anything in it.
What?
Never mind. Whatever. So, yeah, we was talking about our trips.
Okay, and so
Oh.
then we'll have probably a couple of tours booked in Cairns and a couple of tours booked in Darwin, I think.
Okay. So stay tuned for more details. Now we do have a couple of other events. Well, I have a couple. He has one planned between trips. In February, I'm going to a sewing retreat, but it's local. It's right here in my own city, kind of a thing. It's through my guild, and I'm going. It's a 3-day thing, but I'm only going for 2 days. They call it a sew at home thing, which means that basically you don't have to worry about a hotel room. It's just in a hall kind of a thing. And I think it starts on the Friday and Saturday. And I'm only going for 2 days because I don't know if I want to push my luck on 3. I have not been to one before. So we'll see how it goes. And then we got into the big retreat that the Ultimate Sewing has every year. We were on the waiting list and we found out on the weekend that we're in. And that's 4 days at a resort in a place, probably an hour, maybe a little bit more than an hour. What is it? It's Buckhorn?
I'm not sure. Yeah, I have to look.
Up in there? I don't know. Or is it Bancroft?
I don't think it's that far out.
Okay. Whatever. I think it's Buckhorn. But whatever. So that's That's just north of Peterborough. So that's only about an hour and 15 minutes away. No big deal. But we're both going to that. It's not particularly cheap, but then again, it's not that bad. For two of us, it's about, total price is almost $900. But that's 3 nights of accommodation. I guess we go up Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, and we come back Sunday. So 3 nights accommodation and all meals for the whole weekend. So, and I hear a lot of people say nice things about this resort, so it should be okay. The only thing is, we think it's a religious resort.
It's Christian.
It's Christian, and they don't allow alcohol. Well, they don't know us. What they don't see in my suitcase, in my backpack, they don't need to worry about. So, yeah. They're going to have to do a strip search if they want to find that. Well, that could be fun, too. Anyways.
No smoking either.
Oh,
Didn't say no marijuana.
Oh, okay, fine. Well, we don't smoke, so... Gummy bears.
I said no illegal drugs.
Oh, well. Okay, how are they going to handle well, I don't think that's going to be a problem.
No, it's not like we're running around.
Luke
drunk.
says we want to come to the retreat, but we're on the waiting list. Oh, so you guys are on the waiting list still for it? I'll put in a good word for you with Donna. She looks after it. Well, that could be a hoot. All 4 of us. And Luch goes, what? No alcohol? No smoking? Yikes. Yeah, the smoking part doesn't bother us, but I know it'll bother you. The alcohol, like I said, what we do behind closed doors in our own room, they don't need to know about. So, simple as that. I mean, after all, let's face it, Christ turned water into wine. So I'll just say we had a miracle. I brought 5 bottles of water with me, and suddenly they'd all turned into wine. It's a miracle.
5 bottles
Hallelujah.
of grape juice.
Yeah. Whatever. But I'm kind of looking forward to that too. So that happens. We're going to have a busy beginning of the year. I mean, middle of January, Florida. Then I have a retreat. Then we have in March this 4-day retreat. And then we're off to Australia. Yay! Just like the good old days. Fun, fun, fun. None of it involves my mother. Yay! Hopefully she doesn't screw it up for us. Okay, so what else has been happening? Well, we do have something to share with you in a moment, but before we get there, what's been in the news? Anything newsworthy? Oh, yeah. The Chinese now are raining on our parade as Canadians. So, they have a little criminal element that's going through Vancouver. The Americans pressure our authorities to arrest her. So our authorities arrest her because we have an international extradition treaty with the U.S. So now China is threatening us with everything because if we don't let this woman off the hook. So Canada, once again, is caught between a rock and a hard place. Give it up. I say we should just... she booked a ticket, let her go. Whatever. If the Americans wanted her that bad, why weren't they standing at the airport to arrest her? Oh, yeah, that would be a violation of our laws for them to do that. What is this? Like, all the big boys are trying to rain on our parade. But thank God we have the Prime Minister that we do. Because if it had been the last one we had, he probably would have buckled under it all. Justin's pretty cool about the whole thing, and I'm sure he's got a plan. I hope his plan includes getting rid of our premier, but that's not going to work. So, actually, Dougie Ford, that's our premier.
Rob Ford's brother.
He's been a little low-key this week.
No, he hasn't, actually. He's announced a whole pile more cuts, right?
Oh, that's right. So now he's encouraging everybody that works in the public sector to, retire.
Yeah, that's one thing.
Take
and
a
the other
buyout.
thing is that they've cut all these extracurricular school programs.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, but you want to know the truth about the extracurricular programs in schools? The media's got a hold of this, and of course the teachers union has too. And I can talk to this issue since I was a teacher for 31 years. A lot of those programs, they make it in the media sound like they are essential and that if you get rid of them, you're harming children, people with special needs, all this kind of stuff. The reality is this: teachers still look after those students that have special needs. It is built into the curriculum. We have something called accommodations. And I don't know, there's probably something new since I left the profession with all of that. It's always been there. It's always been put into the curriculum. Yes, you need support staff to help with that. But these other extracurriculars that they may be getting rid of, when people hear the word extracurricular, they think, oh, there goes the football team. And in my way of thinking, that would not be a bad thing to get rid of the football team. Because basically, they're nothing but a bunch of nimrods. And well, don't let me get started about phys ed teachers, because I've only met 2 in my life that were smart. And in both cases, they were women. And one was a lesbian. Okay, well, that, whatever. But really, dumb jocks, that's not a stereotype. That's a reality. Believe me. I had to teach them. Well, I didn't really teach them anything, because barely could they write their name. In most cases, football. How do you spell football? P-H-A-T-F-A. No, O-L. Yep, you got it. It's pretty close. There's a point. So yes, am I prejudiced against football players? Yeah, I am. Proud of it. I was an English teacher. My God, it's all about the arts. So anyways, yes, he may be cutting. It makes it sound like he's making these huge cuts. All it means is he's not going to put money into a whole lot of very special interest groups in the schools. He's not getting rid of football. He's not getting rid of the yearbook club. He's not getting rid of any of those kind of extracurriculars. What he's doing is he's not going to fund these very specialized forms of support. And I mean, I think those kids need support, yes. The problem is, they get a lot of support already in the existing system. I know, don't kill me, people who have children with special needs, okay? I don't, and I'm not going to pretend that I understand what you're going through, but I'm telling it from a teacher's point of view. We make accommodations for those people, and we have to write it right into our curriculum. We have to specialize our lesson plans for those people in our room. I used to have a home room of kids. Half of them were what they call identified. There's a lot of work on a teacher to do that. So yes, it's going to hurt teachers. If he cuts the funding on that, more is going to fall onto the classroom teachers' backs. But the first things that are going to go when they've got such a, now apparently according to the Auditor General, the government is in a worse state financially than even the government thought. Yeah, this happens with every government that comes in. It's always,
every time there's a government change, then the previous government gets nailed for having screwed the books, having to, that they're in worse financial state. When the Liberals took over from the Conservatives last time, that was the case. When the Conservatives take over from the Liberals, that's the case. It's always the case.
Yeah. So the first things they always cut: public service, education, healthcare. Those are the 3 biggies that they go after every time. But I don't see them cutting things like tax reduction incentives for big business or that kind of thing. I don't see them cutting their budget for projects that, or their spending like in office supplies, or their little trips here and there, and their luncheons and their meetings and stuff like that. No, they don't do that. They go right for the most essential things, the essential services. And yeah, well, that's just typical politics. We've been living with that for all our lives. So, why should that be any different? Carol says, laugh out loud. Good thing you don't live in Texas. Football's next to God. Yes, and that just sums up what I said about dumb jocks. Really? Texas, home of dumb jocks. Okay? Texas, home of the gun. Texas, supporters of the NRA. Texas, Trump forever. Do I need to go on about Texas? No. I'm sorry, but
Well, you just put Carol. Where's Carol? I assume Carol lives in Texas.
I don't know. Where do you live, Carol? Well, I'll stand by what I say. I'm not going to back down. I forget, Carol, where you are. Well, Carol agrees, so no problem. Doesn't matter. Okay, so that was what's in the news. So what's eating us this week? All right. I was going to talk about this tomorrow on my vlog, and I probably still will. I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty details because I want to save something for the vlog tomorrow. But we discovered earlier this week that we'd have PC MasterCards. PC is President's Choice. It is a company, it's called Loblaws up here. It's a huge supermarket chain. And they own all kinds of different stores and that. And they actually own Selfridges in London, England as well, if you know what Selfridges is. Selfridges is, there's Harrods and there's Selfridges. They're both kind of the same kind of thing.
They're a large department store.
A very large department store and very, what would be the equivalent in the Americans? Macy's?
Kind of a Macy's.
Or a Nordstrom's?
Yeah. No, not a Nordstrom's. I think it's more like a Macy's.
But a lot of, I have a real variety of everything in all price ranges. But, they're the kind of store where you go in and the help there are dressed to the nines and they'll foo-foo a bag for you when you buy something there, kind of a deal. Well, we own it. When I say we, Canadians, we're the Weston family, which are probably the richest family in Canada. I'm not sure.
Well, they own all these grocery stores that are under a whole line of different names, and they have discount grocery stores as well. And they've recently bought up a big pharmaceutical chain in Canada
called Shoppers Drug Mart,
which used to exist also in the UK. But
oh, did it?
Yeah.
So, anyways, you get points. It's one of these points cards, and primarily you get the most points when you buy at one of their grocery stores. And I save up the points. As I said to Walter, I'm saving them up for something special. Well, something special was called Christmas. I had $300 worth of points. I was going to use that to buy everything we needed for Christmas dinner. And Walter says one night, I was in bed reading, and he says...
last week, actually.
Was it last week? He looked at our points online to see what we had, and somebody had cashed in 290,000 of our points. Now, how many points equals $1? 10 points?
Yeah.
So basically, $290 was gone.
Yeah, we still had 11,000 points left.
Yeah.
Which is $10.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it always has to be in increments of 10.
Yeah.
But anyways, so, where? Somebody in a place called Markham, which is north of Toronto. It's 45 minutes away from us. It's a suburb of Toronto more than anything. Had gone to a Loblaws there and redeemed 290,000 of our points. And it says on there, from Stephen's phone. There's an app. And I have it on my phone. So, instead of showing your card, they can scan in the barcode on your phone when you want to redeem your points. I have never used the app, ever. I have it on my phone, have never used it. We don't shop in Markham. We shop in our city, Oshawa. They can see that in the list of our purchases because I use my PC MasterCard regularly because I want the points. So it's all there. So I'm talking to this woman on the phone after I had to go through.
Oh, that was annoying.
Oh, there was more menus than I've ever seen. And then there was menus within menus. And finally got a human being. Now, I was phoned at 11:30 that Monday night. That's when he discovered it. So I phoned right then and then. Of course, they gave me another number to call. And when I called it, they were closed. Their business hours are from 8 to whatever, 5. So next day I phoned them. Again, press 1 for this. Press 2 if you want to die. Press 3 if you're picking your nose. Press 4 if you want to go to lunch. Whatever. Selections. And finally, I got a human being. And I told the human being what was going on. Well, the human being turns around and tells me that my PC Optimum card, that was reported as lost. I said, I'm looking at it right now. It's in my hand. I have never lost it. I have never reported it lost. And I physically am holding it right now as we speak. Oh. And besides, what's that got to do with the fact that on my account, someone has ripped me off of 290,000 points? Oh. Can I have your birth date, please, to verify security? And could I also have your middle name? Could I have your address? Could I have your postal code, your security code? And I'd like to know your ancestry, going back 7 generations. Okay, we've now got security. Okay, sir, I have put this in to the people that will look after this. You should expect within the day or two an email from us about what's going on. Anything else I can help you with today, sir? No, thank you. You've been very kind. Well, thank you, and thank you for using your PC MasterCard. Is what I want to say. So I waited. 2 days later, I go online. I'm checking stuff. I never heard anything from them again. And I see that there's an online form you can fill out. So I filled it out. This time I wasn't quite as nice as I was on the phone, if you can believe that. And basically, essentially said all the things I've told you. I finally did get a reply. I now have a case number. Now we sit and wait. In the meantime, no, not using the points for Christmas. We went out and got everything. Now here's what's pissing me off about that. Okay, I'm in a financial situation where this is an extreme annoyance, but my world was not killed. It's not like we can't have Christmas dinner because I don't have the points. We can afford to buy the other stuff. The point was, though, I was saving it up, so I didn't use it for that. You know, kind of a thing. I hope whoever stole my points, I hope they were a family in need, and I hope they were able to get stuff for a Christmas dinner and the whole bit. However, what I suspect is it's an inside job. Because of the way everything is working with this, I think it's somebody who works.
Somebody also knew how much they could cash out,
yeah,
because the bill that they paid was $293.95 or something like that. So they were only $3.95 over what basically they could have cashed out at that point in time.
Yeah, so they knew what was happening. And have we frozen? No, we haven't. Good. So anyways, I sit and I wait. And of course, this always happens when it's the holiday season, you know. So they're probably inundated with all kinds of problems, and there's probably people taking time off or whatever for Christmas. So who knows when this will get resolved? It will be resolved. I will get my bloody points back, and I think they should give me about 100,000.
This is the second time it's happened.
This is the second time that this has happened. But the problem with this company is they took over Shoppers Drug Mart, and Shoppers Drug Mart had their own point plan called PC Optimum. And then they combined the two. So if you had, and I did have a PC Optimum card, but didn't have that much on it.
It was an Optimum card, not a PC Optimum.
Oh, it was just Optimum then. Now it's called PC Optimum. They combined the two programs, and they've had nothing but problems. They changed it. Oh, and the ironic part, too, that I wrote in this message to them was, okay, you've been bugging us since you've done this revamping that you're increasing your security, and we had to change passwords, and we had to jump through flaming hoops and everything like this. And now your security system sounds to me like there's a problem. And this is why I think it's internal. But I don't know.
I also think they've outsourced a lot of their stuff. So you outsource your stuff, and people can see those accounts, and if they're unscrupulous, they'll leak it or whatever.
Yeah, Kathy, I know. Shouldn't whitewash football players. She's got a nephew who's got a 4.2 GPA, and he's in his 4th year of university. And that's good for him. But one thing, he's a quarterback. There's no such thing as a dumb jock quarterback. Here's why. One, I don't know a lot about football, but my brother played football. So, quarterbacks are your lightest weights on a football team. Why is that? Because quarterbacks are protected by all the halfbacks, fullbacks, sides of beef, whatever, that are on the team. Their job is to make the calls for the game. There's a lot of mathematics in football, or at least it looks like it when they draw on their little whiteboard and put little arrows and you are here and they're over there kind of a thing, and do mathematical calculations with it all. Quarterbacks are usually the smartest players on the field because they have to be. So that's the saving grace you got there. But I still say they're all bloody dumb jocks. And I taught some smart ones. but usually they were in tennis. So it didn't matter. Whatever. I'm not giving in to you on that one, Kathy. Sorry. But good for your nephew. That's good. Whatever a 4.2 GPA is. You Americans have this different system than we do for marks. I mean, although I think some of the universities are adopting that now up here. I don't know. But in my day, you had percentages. So, but I sort of know what GPA is, but anyways. Yeah, I know it's an above eight. Okay, Kathy. Yeah, okay, really? All right, what do you want me to say? Your nephew's fucking smart. All right, really, good. Proud of him, okay? What more? I'm just joking with you, Kathy. You know that. Anyways, so we'll see what goes on with the PC points, and I'm going to talk tomorrow a little bit more about these points things and how, in general, they piss me off. So stay tuned for the vlog tomorrow. Okay. That's taking us to, how are we doing on the time? We're up to 50 minutes and we haven't frozen, knock wood, cross my fingers, cross everything that's crossable, and the whole bit. Luch, you still there? Don't see you saying anything. Okay, so what are we watching? I just discovered, and for me it's new, but for other people not, there's this show, it's had one season. What do you call it? Binged. Watched it. It's called Nightfall. Night with a K. It's about the Knights Templar. And actually, I really liked it. Apparently, there's going to be a second season, but probably not going to come out until late next year, which means by then I will have forgotten everything in the first series. But I really liked it. I thought it was pretty good. It's a little slow at the beginning. You got to get into it, like most of these things. But I kind of liked it. Did you watch any new ones in your little midnight rompings that you...
No, I was really busy figuring out which hotels we were staying in and all the little places and stuff like that. But then I did sort of start watching.
Just left me
Last night I started watching this show, a British show. I can't remember what it's called though now. It has to do with people's bodies and they don't like them and they do go like cosmetic surgery to them and stuff like that.
Oh, so it's like a reality?
Well, not really. Actually, it's more of it's not like cosmetic surgery at all. It's not like the big cosmetic surgery thing. It's more like real people wanting some cosmetic surgery or they have some medical condition they can't figure out what's wrong with them.
No.
So.
Okay, what's it called?
I
don't remember. Yeah. We did go to a show this past week. We saw Bohemian Rhapsody, the one about Queen and Freddie Mercury. And I had heard some gay... I listened to a couple of gay podcasts, and one of them just panned it and the whole bit because they didn't think that they focused enough on Freddie Mercury's gay lifestyle. Well, when we saw it, I thought it was a really good movie, and the guy who plays the main part, he's the guy that plays in that TV series, Mr. Robot.
Yeah.
Or what's his name?
Rami
Malek
or
something like that. When I first heard that he was playing the part, I thought, I don't think he's going to make a good Freddie Mercury. He did. They made him up well, and I think he should be nominated for an Academy Award for his performance in it. But anyways, it was a really good movie. And you know something? They didn't need to focus on the fact that Freddie Mercury was bisexual or gay at all. That's not what the movie was about. The movie was about Queen, the band, and Freddie Mercury and his relationship to the other band members and things in his life. I thought they gave it just enough treatment because he did pass away from AIDS. But they didn't focus on that. They focused on him as a creative genius kind of a thing. And I thought that was good, that they didn't focus on it. But these other groups think, blah, blah, blah. And then I heard that these ones hadn't even seen the movie. And they were talking about it. They were just getting this from wherever they were getting it. Oh, well. Whatever.
Well, actually, it was. It was a really good movie.
Yeah, I thought it was great. Carol says, yeah, great movie. And another one we saw. Now, this was on Netflix. It was called The Ballad of Buster Scruggs. And it's by the Coen brothers. And if you know anything about them, like, what have Coen brothers done in the past? Do you remember?
I'm not sure. I'd have to look at them. I can't think of any.
They do bizarre things.
Yeah.
It's always weird. But this, you have to see it. You have to see it. Especially, it's 4 separate little stories, but they all center around
little short stories.
Little short stories. I don't know if there's an actual book called The Ballad of Buster Scruggs or not. They have a book at the beginning of it that they open up and it shows on each chapter kind of a thing. But it's about the Wild West, and the first sequence is hilarious. But it's bizarre. But bizarre in a very entertaining way. So I highly recommend it. If you get Netflix, you should check that one out. So now, Miss Purple Potato, Jody, who I don't think's on here today, she recommended a YouTube channel. It has a man's name in it. His name is Joseph, and I'm not sure how you say it. I want to say Cinque, but Cinque, but I'm saying it was sort of, like I see French in it. Cinq, 5. Cinque. But that may not be how you say it. I think he's a New Yorker, because he definitely has an accent in it. But this guy decorates his house over the top. He has a 20-part series of his decorations in his house for this year's Christmas. I watched the overview of it. I don't know how many Christmas trees he has. He must have a warehouse to store all this stuff. It's just way over the top. In fact, to the point where I think it's overkill. And I mean overkill on his YouTube channel. I mean, a 20-part series. Yeah, it's kind of boring as well. No reflection upon Jody about this, because she knows I'm always looking for people to recommend YouTube channels and everything. But I mean, it is interesting to check it out, and if this may be interest to some people. So his name is Joseph, Cinque. I'm not sure how you say it. If it's Cinque,
Chink.
It's not chink. How do you get chink out of that?
I don't know. Sank or something.
I don't know how you say it, but whatever. Oh, a sham sham. I think I prefer sham sham over limoncello.
I like the other one better.
But well, you can have the other one.
Oh, fine.
We got 2 bottles. One.
Yeah, fine.
Is it that hard? Whatever. Yeah, you know what I'm reading.
People are saying?
Not much. We're boring them.
Probably.
So, what's coming up? This has been a very uneventful week, except for the points thing.
I mean, we're really close to Christmas, and it doesn't really feel like it.
No.
Well, especially here. We don't have any snow, so...
No, we did have, and then it rained. And actually, today it was, 3 degrees C, so that's balmy.
Yeah, it's more
than... I just hope the day we're supposed to get on the plane to go to Florida, it just doesn't dump. And then we're stuck at Pearson. That's the airport in Toronto, which is, another name for it is hell on earth, pretty much.
Yeah, you just hope that it's good weather when you're leaving.
Yeah.
On the way back, you don't care so much.
Yeah, oh no. There was once, speaking of bad weather, years and years ago, it was 93, March break, 93. Okay, so it was in March. I had just started that September in a brand new school. We just opened it. It was completely brand new. I was the assistant head of the department. It had been hell opening this school and everything you have to do. Little did I know that I would open 2 more later after that. But at the time, that was the first experience for me. So we decided we were going to fly to Key West. Now, Key West has always been considered a gay mecca, all right?
Maybe not so much now.
Not so much now, but at one time it was the gay mecca. Now, this is 92, okay? Or 93. So, last century. So, we got on the plane. We flew to Tampa. Then we had to change planes. Oh, this was funny. Okay. Now, at that point, we had traveled some, but not as extensively as we have since with it all. So I hadn't been on a lot of planes a lot of times, but that was fine. we get off the plane in Tampa, and we have to make this change over to this other plane. The other plane was a prop plane, you know, kind of thing. And it was, okay, there was this stewardess who had to weigh like 12 tons, stand at the bottom. Hi, you all! Oh, honey, you're all, what are you wearing? Well, you see, I had a jacket on and probably a long sleeve shirt and jeans and that kind of thing. Of course, we came from Canada in March to Florida and that kind of a thing. She says, oh, you don't need that, honey. Okay, you just go right up those stairs. We had to go across the tarmac and go upstairs. I mean, I felt like I was in a Humphrey Bogart movie. You know, here's looking at you, kid. Kind of. So we get up in there, and it's a plane with two
single
rows of seats on either side of the aisle. It's not very big.
And they had little signs on certain seats that says, do not sit here.
Do not sit here. So we didn't know whether there was a trap door that opened up when you... So then we're all sitting down, and then the stewardess comes out and goes, okay, we have to balance the load. So she was rearranging where we were sitting so that I guess it could get off the ground. I don't know. At that point, I wasn't really feeling very comfortable about the flight. So the thing finally took, I thought, well, if she gets on, we're never going to get off the ground. But she didn't get on. There was only the pilot and the co-pilot, and the co-pilot served as the flight attendant. Now, this, I don't know how many people were on the plane, like 30? Was it even that?
I don't even think it was that. I think maybe been 20.
It was small. There was no two ways about it. So, they did offer us food, though. They had a little cooler. They came down the aisle, and I think, what was it, a sandwich and a Coke or something like that? So, okay. So, we get to Key West. We get off the plane, and you just get a blast.
Actually, it was a really nice flight down because... Yeah. You could see all the, you know, the coastline of Florida and the Keys and everything else, and it was really cool. It was a nice, bright, sunny day, and it was nice and clear.
Yeah, it was great. And we got off the plane, it was like 82 or 85 or something like that, and it was just hit you with the warm air and the whole bit. And I think that might have been one of the first times I'd ever really seen palm trees, I think. Like, in real life. And that's just looking at this place going, oh my God, this is what tropical paradise looks like. And we get to where we were staying, and we had this wonderful room that it was a gay resort.
But actually it was brand new, had just opened.
And the room we had, when we walked in, there was a basket, there was wine and a cheese basket there for us. Now I do remember at the time it was kind of pricey.
Yeah, it wasn't cheap. It was one of our most expensive rooms we stayed in at that point in time in our life.
And I mean, that was in the days when
we stayed in their luxury room, which was right at the top, and it had a balcony overlooking the pool.
A big balcony.
And like this was a guest house, so it didn't have a lot of people in it. And like even the guest house itself was beautiful. You walked in, they had a big round table in there, and they had this huge bouquet of fresh flowers.
Fresh flowers and the whole bit.
Yeah.
And we had French doors up to this balcony. I think there was a little fridge in there too, wasn't there? And everything. It was gorgeous. And it was nice, sunny and warm. There was our balcony hung out right over by the pool area, and it was all these palm trees, and it was picture perfect. And in the afternoon every day, at around 5 o'clock, they had happy hour, and we didn't catch on to this until halfway in the week we were there, that at happy hour, where is everybody? They were going across the street to the other facility they owned, which was older, and I guess they were over there, and they had free booze. But they put a big bottle of wine in a wine bucket in this place we were staying, and no one was there except us. So every night we got a freebie bottle of wine.
Well, anyway, before that night that we were there, the first night, we didn't realize it, but there was a tropical storm coming in, and it was the worst tropical storm they've had in a long time. We woke up in the middle of the night, and all the palm trees were up.
Well, no, you slept through most of it. I woke up. The French doors were like, and there was like the curtains were going straight out, and I look out, and there's this torrents of rain coming down in the pine trees. The palm trees were all bent over the pool and everything, and I'm fighting with the door to close it like, oh my God, I don't think we're in Kansas anymore, Toto. And the whole bit, and you just threw it all.
woke up and looked out.
Oh, yeah. I said, look, it's a tropical storm. Or I said, oh, maybe this is what they call a tropical storm. And then we found out the next day, yeah, it really was a tropical storm and then as it moved
went through
up,
Atlanta, and Atlanta dumped a pile of snow on Atlanta, dumped a pile of snow on New York. And there were other people staying at the place that we were staying in that were from New York, and they couldn't leave because there were no flights going out to New York. And so they were trapped for another 4 days, and they were all upset because they didn't have enough money to stay.
So, anyways, that was fun. And then the next day we were out, and they were picking up. Trees had blown over and everything, and the temperature dropped from about 83 down to about 65 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah, 40 I thought or something.
No, it wasn't that cold. It was
60.
only in the 60s.
And we had only brought shorts, so we were like...
But we were fine. It was still balmy. But they all knew we were from Canada because all the natives were huddled under like quilts and everything else trying to keep
warm. We're walking around in shorts.
It was nice. Yeah, right here. So that was quite a trip with it. But
it didn't actually warm up again until the end of the week, the day before we were supposed to leave. But that was an event.
So the reason I brought that up is because most times we've been very lucky with flights in terms of whether they're going to be canceled or not because of inclement weather. But this was one time where we just missed it by 24 hours on that one. And, well, we've had a few other near misses,
Yeah,
too.
I know. Well, people used to joke about us leaving at shortly after there was like a natural disaster or something.
Yes,
like that.
there's always after we
They
leave.
were laughing at us. They knew we were... People I worked with were laughing at us that time we went to Florida, that it was such bad weather after we left.
Yeah.
And then we went to California, and they said, "Oh no, we want to go down there one day to see it.
Don't destroy it.
Fall off into the ocean."
But yeah, I don't know how I got onto that, but I did with the whole thing. Now so the events coming up this week. We have the Christmas event at the nursing home, as I said, which I'm just looking so much forward to this. I'm sure it's going to be fun, fun, fun. I'm sure there's going to be a sing-along. Get out your singing voice. Oh, you don't have one. So whatever. But we're going for my mother. Yeah, right?
And
yeah.
I got stuff to do, like make some bread and do some stuff.
Oh, yeah, we got cooking to start doing. I got to make my buns. My famous sage rolls. There was a restaurant we used to go to in a place north of us, and they had the best rolls, dinner rolls. They made them there, and they tasted like there was sage in them and stuff, and they always came warm, and they were great. So when we got our first bread maker, or was it the second one? How many bread makers have we had?
The second one.
Is this only the second one? It feels like 3. I don't know. Anyways, I decided to try and duplicate the recipe. Of course, they never gave out the recipe. And I actually didn't do too bad a job. So I'd have to kill you if I told you what the recipe is. But there's sage in it, I'll tell you that. And they're kind of nice. I like them. Do you like them?
Yeah, they're good.
Okay, fine. Yeah, they're
They're
good.
too big sometimes.
Oh, yeah, okay. You sound like my bloody sister. Oh, I love your rolls, but they're just too big. And my mother, oh, I can only have a bite. So I'll make them smaller. I'll get more of them out of the recipe if I do that. But anyways, so I got to make those this week. We went and did a lot of the grocery shopping yesterday. We got our bird. And so that has to come out of the freezer on Tuesday because Walter will be probably cooking it while we're doing Stephen and Walter Live next Sunday with it. So stay tuned for turkey. Yeah. Then I have to get my table set up and everything like that. I haven't made my list yet. I always like to make a schedule of how I do things. It's the teacher in me. Whatever. So there's another important event coming up this week. Do you remember what it is?
I'm not sure.
It's not Garbage Day, but that's a hint.
It's our anniversary.
Oh, he remembered. It's our 35th anniversary. Not our wedding. You know, we have two anniversaries. We couldn't get married then. So it'll be 35 years, December the 21st, that we met. Been together.
Been together.
35 years. Yeah, 35 years. That's a long time. So what are we doing for our 35th anniversary? Well, we got frozen lobster tails. And I still don't know. I thought we were going to have surf and turf, but he thinks that would be too much.
Well, we can have surf and turf.
Well, I don't know if I want it now. I don't know. Actually, I originally thought, until you said what we're having for dinner tonight, I was thinking, onion soup and then, but then you'd say, well, onion soup makes me too full and I don't want to eat the lobster tails. So I don't know. So we got lobster tails and...
Well, onion soup and lobster tails.
Like I said, you wouldn't go for that either.
Okay.
So I don't know. I don't know. What do you serve with lobster? I was trying to think what we had in Provincetown before at that lobster pot place. I think they just served coleslaw.
Yeah.
But you're not fond of coleslaw. And anyways, thanks, Carol. She says, congratulations, guys. Yeah, well, you know what they say. The first 50 are the hardest. So that's what I tell everybody. Yeah, so it's our 35th. And I looked at cards, and I'll be damned if I'll spend $5 on a stupid card that is just like sentimental. And he said he looked and he saw one for $9 and he wasn't paying that. So there you go. So I said, do we really need to get cards? Like, I know where you live. Do I need it? So no. So before you all get this romantic idea that, yeah, the highlight of the evening will be the lobster tails. I hope they're good. Carol says, just celebrate 50 years, haven't killed him yet. Oh, Carol, you know what they say? It's the first 100 that are the hardest. Well, congratulations, Carol. That's a milestone. And also that you haven't killed him yet. And we're still both alive. Haven't killed each other yet. But we have 2 anniversaries. The 21st of December is what we consider our real anniversary. And then we have the one which was payback. It was called our wedding, where we could get married legally, and we did, and we invited all our straight friends because it was time for them to give us gifts, because we'd been to all their bloody weddings.
And how long ago was that? That was 13 years ago.
Oh, you remember? Yes, 13 years ago. It'll be 14 come next July. 14 years of wedded bliss. Yep. Got the marks to prove it. Yeah, so that's what's coming up. And I don't know what else to tell you people. I'm starting to run out of stuff to talk about. It's pretty bad.
Well,
don't you
next
have
week will be
luncheons
Christmas.
next week?
Yeah, I have luncheons. I have a luncheon on the 19th with the group I used to work with, the team that I used to work with. And they were nice to invite us, a couple of the retirees back, and
A couple of the retardeds? Oh, sorry.
well, plus my manager. Now there's 3 of us in the group that and they invited. They're still all together, so we're working together. So they invited us back for Christmas lunch, and then I've got lunch with Luba on Thursday.
Well, you're just a social butterfly. Nobody ever invites me out for lunch. Well, most
Luba
of
is
them
a lady that I used to work with a lot for quite a few years.
She's the mad Russian.
Yeah, she's Russian descent. She always has. She doesn't always spell things correctly, so it's kind of interesting sometimes reading her writing. But she's a great lady. Like her, love her. She's a great lady, and always have a good time.
Well, why don't you have a kid with her then?
Yeah, probably.
Really? Oh, really? Yeah, you're too old for that. And Luba's probably too smart for that. Yeah. So, anyways. Yeah, so you're doing your little luncheons. Well, isn't that nice? I don't have anyone to lunch with. Because all the people I know are still teaching. And the ones that aren't are dead. So, yeah, there's a great time. Oh, speaking of sad things, though. Okay, just about friends or not friends. There's a guy we know, sort of. He's not what I would call a friend. He's not a friend. He's an acquaintance. So he decides he's going to have a little Christmas gathering open house. And he posted it on Facebook. And he's had it on Facebook for several weeks now. Actually, for about a month. And we never, he just sent it out point blank on his Facebook. I never answered one way or the other because we went to one of his parties once years ago and we didn't know anybody at it, and Oh, to be honest, he doesn't know how to throw one. It was kind of sad. But anyway, so we didn't bother to acknowledge it because, I mean, it was a carte blanche, or not carte blanche, but a general invitation, right, to whoever's on his Facebook. But for him, that meant everybody should be coming. Well, people did respond and say, oh, well, I have to work that night. I'm going to be away on holidays, or I'll try to slip in for a little bit between this and that and the other thing. Which right off the bat, that pisses me off when you send out an invitation to people if they're going to turn around and go, and, you know, gay people are the worst for this, I'm sorry to say. But, you know, it's always like, well, yeah, we've got this and there. Gay people are always double booked. And, Luch, I am not talking about you guys, okay? No, don't even think that. It's always as if something better might come up, okay? So we don't want to commit. Well, these other people, and they weren't all gay people that he invited. He's gay, by the way. He has a variety of people he knows. A lot of them are female, kind of a thing. And
a lot of people said they were going to come.
A lot of people did say they were going to come. So he got food for it. You know, that kind of stuff. It was a BYOB. And he was even taking, you know, asked people if they want to bring a donation for the food drive or a toy. He'd take them over to the cop shop, to the police station, you know, for their Christmas thing and that kind of deal. His heart's in the right place. Well, at about, 10 o'clock last night or so, he wrote on Facebook, no one showed up. I felt so bad for him. I mean, we didn't say where we're going. Like, we didn't make any commitment, nothing. Well, we didn't even make, okay, that might sound really bad, but what I mean is, he is not a friend, okay? He's just someone we know through, you know, how you know people, kind of a thing. So, as far as he was concerned, he doesn't even know if we saw the invitation. So, as simple as that. But I felt so bad for him. Nobody showed up. Now, that is sad. Really sad. It almost made me want to get my coat on and go, let's go over. It's 10 o'clock. Let's go over so he's got somebody. But no, not doing that. But anyways, it is. That's very sad, Luch. It is. And this guy has some issues as well. And I have a feeling, and you know, this time of the year, people who suffer from depression or things like that, this is a really bad time of year for them. And I'm just hoping we don't see something on Facebook or somewhere else where he has done something, you know what I mean, to himself. I mean, I don't know if he ever would, but that would make me, that would make me feel really bad, but as it should. But I don't know. Anyways, well, that's kind of a downer note. But there's a right way and a wrong way to throw a party. My suggestion is you make a date, you send out invitations individually, not en masse on Facebook, and you put in an RSVP. RSVP, yeah, RSVP. Oh, you put one of those in too, but people have to give money. And you sit with a date saying, confirm by such and such a date. And you do it far enough in advance so that you can determine whether or not this is a go or not. And then you make the plans for it. Or get everything ready. Don't just, he called it an open house. And it started at 12 midnight. Now, that was a mistake on his part because I don't think he really understood how invitations work on Facebook. So he didn't adjust the time. But he did say something very curious. It said, okay, well, if you're going to come in around the afternoon, just remember I'd like to take a nap. Okay, just so many mixed messages here that just confuses the hell out of everybody. Really? Hi, I thought we'd come over now, but if you're sleeping, I don't know what you do with that. So there is a right way and a wrong way to really, if you're going to plan something, if you're going to put all the effort into planning it, and you're getting food and doing all that kind of stuff, then yeah. But I know how I would feel if no one showed up. And believe me, I do sort of know how that feels. Well, not that nobody didn't show up, but I've had a few things where I've invited people and it was a very definite invitation. And at the last minute,
several people canceled out.
People canceled out. with no real good reason. I mean, okay, good reason is you're dead. That I find is always a good reason. Okay, I can excuse you if you're dead. All right, just don't expect me to show up at the funeral, you bitch. But screw me and screw you, like whatever. But and then I've had a few people who, you tell them it's 7 o'clock, they show up at 9:30. Yeah.
Or people that we've had that they knew we were having them for dinner,
Mm-hmm.
and then they didn't show up until very late.
Or one time when we invited people over and didn't show up at all with no call or anything. But let's not talk about Garrett. You remember that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's just nasty. But anyways, what are people saying here? Luch says, that's very sad, yeah. And Julie says, oh, that's not nice to hear. It's so sad, yeah. And Carol says, just a little strange. Oh, yeah. Luch says, that's totally unacceptable. Yeah, really, it is. But I do feel sorry for him. I really do. Because I think he has a good heart. He's just a little messed up upstairs. And, that I don't need to get into all of that, why I want by that, because it's neither here nor there with what we're talking about. But anyways, well, that's kind of a downer to end things on. But on a good note, we've been running now for 80 minutes. No freeze up. And with the exception of the one little buffering at the beginning for Kathy, wow. And we're doing this at 1080p. And since Walter cleaned the camera off, it looks like it's a little clearer. We're not in the little cloud, the London fog. So I would say this is a go. This has been great. So next week, our broadcast is on the 23rd, of course, and we'll be there as usual. So that will be our Christmas event. All right. Walter already has all kinds of plans for this. What they are, I do not know. Well, I do know one thing that involves the dollar store. But anyways, be sure to tune in next week for our Christmas Festival Live. Sure to be lots of fun and surprises. Anyways, Carol says, go, Walter, go. Luch says, no freezing, yippee. Yep. All right, so people, time to go. Thanks for watching us today, and we'll see you next week for a Christmas Festival. Bye-bye.
Bye.